Greetings. My name is Mark Liebig. I, along with Rosa Mosquera Losada and Ladislao Martinito, serve as co-chairs for the Croplands Research Group within the Global Research Alliance on Agricultural Greenhouse Gases. In the preparation for the upcoming meeting here on December 9th and 10th, we're providing some brief updates about the status of the research group to help prepare for the discussions that we'll have over the course of those 2 days. Our updates are essentially going to fall within 4 categories. I'm going to give a sort of a broad overview of some of the action items that have come about since we met last year as a group in San Antonio in November of 2019. Rosa will follow on with another update focused on the network and activity highlights, as well as a lot of the exciting things that are going on within the education and outreach arena within the research group. And then Ladislao will have a presentation on some topics that we might want to consider discussing when we get together in December. So I encourage you to, after looking at this update, is to certainly follow on and to view theirs as well. Okay, going back to 2019, it seems like a completely different world, because it was. But we met together as a group, 18 attendees across 10 countries, and had a very productive day. Did the standard country and network updates, but also spent a lot of time discussing how we wanted to structure ourselves in terms of framing our networks, what types of outputs that we would want from our collaborations, even looking about how we could restructure our meeting, although I don't think we envisioned we'd be structuring quite the way we are here this year, but that's okay, because this virtual technology has proven to be essentially a very significant leveling effect in that it allows perhaps more people to attend the meeting than we have in past. So in that part, it's very exciting. We just have to adapt with the new technology. But anyhow, getting back to that 2019 meeting, it was a great time to be together, and we had a productive day there in San Antonio. Coming away from that meeting, we had 4 major outcomes that we've identified within the meeting report. The first of which was to look at our network structure, evaluate it, and then potentially propose a different approach to be able to organize ourselves and report that out to the GRA Council. There was also identified need for us to be able to review the content of the website for the research group. It was, in short, in need of an update, and so that was the second meeting outcome that we identified. There was another thing. There was a lot of talk about our sort of out-facing activities within the research group, and so one of the things that was proposed was to put together a webinar series. And then finally, there was a lot of talk about working on a collaborative manuscript, essentially assessing sort of the trade-offs associated with different greenhouse gas mitigation options. And so of those 4 outcomes, 3 we've been able to really push forward, and the fourth, I think that as that one really never got wheels under it, so to speak, but of course we've had a lot of challenges that have made collaboration pretty challenging since last November, and so for us to be able to achieve 3 out of the 4, I think it's quite an accomplishment. So a little more detail on each of those 3. First of which is our network structure. Essentially, what we proposed to do was to go from 7 to 6 networks. Our irrigation research, which was a separate network, was fairly latent, and so we decided that it would be best to be able to integrate the research topics that were related to irrigation into the other 6 existing networks. There was also some talk about even doing away with the integrated systems network as well. However, at the urging of our colleagues in Embrapa, we were able to retain that, and we were able to bring on Alberto Bernardi, who's a integrated crop livestock specialist there with Embrapa to lead that particular network. So that's good. We have like a very familiar structure that all sort of feeds into a centralized goal of identifying mitigation options from agriculture. And of course, there's many different ways in which that can be expressed, whether it be through research reports, synthesis products, fact sheets, decision tools, etc. So regarding the website, yes. So we, as in the three of us co-chairs, worked extensively with Kelsey there in New Zealand with the Secretariat in order to overhaul a number of pages within the website. And so I'm happy to say that the content is up to date. The network restructuring is reflected in the updates. And there's also, I guess, updated links that highlight some of the things that have been going on within the outreach arena within the research group. So we are very thankful to the Secretariat for that. It's really nice to be able to bring that sort of out-facing portion of the research group up to date. And and then another thing that we've done, mentioned the webinar series. I'm not going to go into a lot of depth other than to say that we've been able to do 2 of these, and this is really under the realm of Rosa's work with her colleagues there in Spain to be able to pull this off. This has really provided a great opportunity for us to learn about research activities going on throughout the world. And I fully anticipate that this is something that is going to continue as we move forward as a research group, because we've had great presentations and wonderful discussions each time. And so it's perhaps something that probably wouldn't be as popular without a pandemic, but now this is part of our reality. And so it was a great idea that its moment had come, and we just sort of took advantage of it. So please look at Rosa's update for more detail on how this all came about and the outcomes from it. I think she's got some very, very, very interesting metrics associated that shows its impact. Finally, a couple of things for me before I step away here on my update is that there's been some recent developments. There's been a couple more publication opportunities within the research group that build upon what Craig Drury had already set up through the Conservation Agriculture Network. Of course, he's had a special issue within the SSAJ focused on conservation agriculture practices and their impact on the mitigation of greenhouse gases. But there have been 2 others that have come to the forefront, and I encourage you to look at those updates in the lead up to our meeting in December to learn more about them. This could be a real exciting opportunity for you to be able to share your research. The other thing that I'd want to point out is that Kansas State, in cooperation with the University of Idaho, they were successful in securing some grant funds from the National Science Foundation to conduct a survey that will include the Croplands Research Group membership. And so I encourage you to look at Livia Olson's presentation about this. It's essentially looking at perhaps integrating the literature database that's been managed by Kansas State, Chuck Rice in particular, with Livia Olson, but integrating that literature database with a journal map feature. If you're not familiar with it, I encourage you to take a look at it. It's a really powerful tool to be able to sort of geo-reference information within research publications in order to more efficiently conduct searches of literature. So that's very brief, but there's a lot more to come. I encourage you to to view the updates by my fellow co-chairs, and also going forward for the in preparation for the meeting here in December, be checking your email. We're going to be sending out the detailed agenda and the login invitation for each of you. We have essentially 2 hours on 2 days, so it's going to be a pretty intense period, but it's also a great opportunity for us to be able to get together and discuss things and move things together as a group that for us to achieve the broader goal of the GRA. So I recognize that viewing all of these on-demand presentations prior to the meeting, it does take a lot of time. I thank you for that, and really look forward to your participation here in December 9th and 10th. So thanks again. Take care.